Ladies and gentlemen, hello to a a multiple review video. I don't really know what to call it. Maybe like a movie batch review or something. Um, Basically, we're gonna be watching. I don't know how many movies I'm gonna put in this batch because it's a little different. I did this before with like a week of Shudder and doing like a movie every day sort of thing, but now since I just have Shutter, I don't have to like rush it or anything, so it'll probably be like made over time, like 5 to 10. I know that's a big range, but I guess you'll see by the time you get this video. Basically, we choose a movie. I watch it. I give you my first thoughts, and then in post editing, I'll give you some if my thoughts have changed on the movie. Um, because it does. First thoughts and like final thoughts are usually different. Like usually when you think about it more it can change a movie. Usually it makes it worse, but yeah. But basically if you don't know me, I'm a big horror movie fan. I've watched at least 300. I wouldn't say watched 400. Somewhere in the 300s I would say. The majority of the movies I watch are horror. So I have a lot of experience. I don't get scared too easily. For horror movies, for horror games, it's a totally other. It's a totally different scenario. Okay, but yeah. Hopefully you enjoy. Maybe you'll find some movies you like, and or maybe you'll get my opinion on a movie you like. Either way though, and also check out the rest of the channel. It's mainly variety, and it's mainly weeb shit. But during October, we go full horror for a while, and you get a lot of horror content. And throughout the year, I do post some other horror stuff. So consider subscribing if you're into that, or if you're into weeb shit, because we have a lot of weeb shit too. Um, but yeah, yeah. Okay, so for our first movie, we're going to be watching. Drum roll, please. I don't know why I say that because I never drum roll or add a drum roll of that. We got Bumpa, The Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, from 1981 by Frank De Felitta. After an angry mob commits a fatal mistake, a strange apparition starts the land. Get it? Because it's a scarecrow. And the legend of the scarecrow begins. Excellent. If Jimmy on 86 thinks it's excellent, then I'm sure it'll be good. It also has 5 stars. I do feel like most reviews on Shudder are usually higher than other movie sites because they're all horror fans. So our taste is trash for good movies, but 5 stars is pretty rare. Why am I choosing this one? Well, I clicked on the collection side, and this is Shudder Essentials. There's some movies you got to see. Um, and I just chose the first one. I've seen Perfect Blue, excellent movie, Babadook. I need to rewatch it honestly, but it was good. I was young when I watched it though. Hills Have Eyes, good. Haven't watched Children of the Corn, but I know what it is. Remake of Nosferatu. I haven't watched the original. Watched Phantasm. Don't know what that is. 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 Want to rewatch this? It's been way too long. Same with this. This this commercial on TV always spooked me, man. Yeah, I haven't watched Ring. I kind of want to rewatch Ring too. Hellraiser, Halloween. I can do without rewatching Halloween stuff. I'm over Halloween stuff, man. I haven't watched any of the new ones. It's just annoying. But I haven't watched a lot of these, so maybe we'll go through some of these Shutter essentials and focus on that and see if they're really essential for a horror movie viewing experience. But yeah, I'm gonna check out Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. So I will see you in 97 minutes. Peace. Okay, so I just finished Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, and it was pretty great. I didn't see why people love it a lot. It's not what I expected at all. Going into it, I thought it was gonna be about a zombie or some sort of monster scarecrow just stabbing people with his pitchfork. But no, it was actually a pretty great story. Had some pretty good mystery elements too. It really made me think before the end. Before there's an obvious answer, but for a while it actually like made me try to guess who the killer was. Until I like looped back around. Um, the acting was pretty great too. I think better than usual for horror movies, and they did a really great job at making you cheer for the killer. Because there are definitely slasher movies where you cheer for the killer over the other people, but they made it like proper. The victims were properly evil, so it was very satisfying to watch the kills. And while it wasn't gory or graphic at all, I thought the kills were pretty unique. I'm very surprised with this movie. I was very happy with it. I didn't. I understand why I got 5 skulls out of 5 on Shutter. I think I'd give it a 7 out of 10 personally, just because I just rate it. My rating system's a little stricter, but yeah, it's definitely a great watch. You might not love it if you're like into gory, real slashers, because this really isn't a slasher. There's no, there's no real like direct kills. Um, they're mainly like because they sacrifice that to keep the mystery element, which I actually really enjoyed. But yeah, honestly, surprisingly great film. I think I'm gonna just stick to the essentials and do check all of them out from the Shutter Essentials collection, and hopefully I just have a good time through that. But yeah, thank you for watching. See you in the next movie. Hello guys, today we are going to be checking out another movie. I was gonna do something else from the Shutter Essentials, but my dad actually watched a Shutter original without knowing it was a Shutter original. So I was like, oh, he recommended it, so I'm like, okay, we'll diverge a bit and check it out. So without further ado, let me show you what it is. Ta-da! We're watching a documentary, which is a little different from what we've done before. I haven't watched too many documentaries in general in my life. The only other horror documentary I recall was that like 4 hour one where they uh talked about like movies from the 80s and stuff. It's pretty popular. I just forgot what it's called. But yeah, this is about found footage by Philip Estrott, Sarah Appleton from 2021. The found footage phenomena tracked the untold story of the found footage film from its origins before and within Cannibal Holocaust, The Blair Witch Project, and The Last Broadcast, beyond its boom in the late noughties with Paranormal Activity, Cloverfield, and Wreck. The documentary showcases how found footage horror became a global sensation with films such as Koji Shirashi's Norio the Curse, Shirome, and Occult, the Paz Brothers' Jerusalem, Andre I can't say that last name, Troll Hunter, and also the differences between how British and American film industries took the genre respectfully. Found footage spans 4 decades already, with such films as Host, Death of a Vlogger, and Spree have proven that it's not done with us yet, a Shudder original. So I really enjoy found footage. I know some people hate it. I think it's very like adaptive for lower budgets, and as the description as the description showed, there's like it has been constantly evolving too with stuff like Host, where they're going with more web chat focused stuff. But there's still room for it to grow, and there's definitely some bangers. From the movies they said on the description, I've seen Blair Witch, obviously, Paranormal Activity, Cloverfield Wreck, Norio the Curse, Shirome, Occult, all of the big Koji Shirashi movies. I've seen Jerusalem, I've seen Troll Hunter, I've seen Host, so I haven't seen Death of a Vlogger, Spree, or Cannibal Holocaust, which probably should one day, and The Last Broadcast. I think I might have seen The Last Broadcast. It doesn't really ring a bell, but a lot of those are like top tier movies. Like Wreck is amazing. I know some people say it's their favorite horror movie ever. Obviously, Paranormal Activity is super influential. Cloverfield's well liked, I think. Blair Witch Project's also super influential. Um, Koji Shirashi's works are a mixed bag. Obviously, Norio the Curse, all time classic in the J horror genre. Shirome and Occult are a little more niche, but I do like both of them. I need to rewatch Shirome. I've seen Occult and Oreo like within the last couple of years, but I haven't seen Shirome in like 10 years. Maybe not 10. That's way too much. But since I was like way younger. Um, of course, Jerusalem was really dope when it came out too. Troll Hunter's a classic that my dad loves. Host was pretty fun. Like there's just it brings a lot of funness, you know. And even from our last movie batch review, Death Stream, I believe it was called, the found footage that was arguably like the scariest movie. It wasn't my favorite because we did check out Snake Girl and the White Haired Witch, which was probably my favorite from that. It was very fun. But it was like definitely the scariest, I think. So I feel like it gets a little underrated because of that amateurish feel to it, but I feel like at least nowadays they've kind of elevated found footage and made it more professional, which some people like, some people don't, obviously. Um, but yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'm excited to head into this, and hopefully I'll learn something. I don't know. It's not usually my thing, but I'm here to experience. So yeah, see you on the flip side. Yeah, that was pretty good. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. It's fun listening to directors and writers of movies that I consider pretty good, talking about the genre in a whole. I agree with a lot of what they said, and yeah, it's an interesting watch for sure. I think, like I said, it's an ever evolving genre. It really is an equalizer, as again, low budget but can be good. But you can do high budget too, as seen throughout. And yeah, it's just interesting to get the perspectives. I think I don't really know if I'd give it a rating because I'm not really a documentary guy, so I can't really like judge it by what I normally do. But I would I would recommend it if you're a horror fan. I mean, if you're a found footage fan, then of course. But if you're just a horror fan and you haven't really experienced too much found footage, I would recommend checking it out. Maybe it'll sway you too, because I do think it's a pretty great genre. But yeah, it's good watch. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to movie three. You know, I decided why full time and then into this when you can just like just do start with this. You know, yeah, the surprise. It's alright. Anyways, I thought it was fitting that after watching that found footage documentary, we check out the new VHS, the latest Shutter movie. Um, I always thought VHS movies were a good time. You know, some better than others. You know, it's an anthology found footage um movie series, and some definitely hit better than others. But in general, it's pretty fun. From the first one, you know what was happening. Amateur Night was good. Honeymoon was good. Wait, do I even remember these? Amateur Night was good. Yes. Honeymoon was good. This was not good, I think. This was all right. This was fun, and this was good. I liked this and this one the best. VHS 2. I always remember the honestly for me Safe Haven was the best one. It's always it's one of the better ones for sure. Pyro was like the worst out of the bunch, I think. But I do remember which one it is. Um yeah, Parallel Monsters was the one. That was the one I remember a lot. That was fun. And of course 94 came out last year. And this one was actually it was a step up from the last one for sure. Uh I liked which one did I like? Yeah, I liked Terror. I liked Empty Wake. Oh, actually, all of these were pretty dope. So I feel like it's went in an uphill. You know, number one's a classic for sure. Number two has that one film I like, but the rest is kind of whatever. Number three, one film I like, but the rest was whatever. Four is like all pretty decent, I think. So hopefully, this one has some decent ones too. Lots of fun, way better than the last two. That's a good sign. Thank you, CM116. Can we get a bad review? Bad review. Judge, obnoxious flat carriages throughout. This whole thing is saved by the last one to hell and back. That was perfect. Meh by Lutstrand. Anyways, yeah, should be fun. I kind of hyped for it, honestly. Let's see if it lives up to it. See you soon. Yeah, so that was a movie. No, I'm joking. It was good. I'm a little underwhelmed because unlike the other ones, there's not a film that I thought was like really really good. Like the first one had the first one, the second one had the Indonesian Thai one, third one had the Portal, fourth one I like the last one a lot for the fourth one personally. Um, this one I don't know. I mean, the first film was really it was a good start for sure. I thought that was a solid flick. The punt zombie one. Um, Second one was the sorority one. That one was good too. Third one I didn't really vibe with. They went for a lot, and there was some impressive things about it, but it was a little much. I couldn't really get into it. Fourth was the overarching story that VHS always goes for. Weirdly enough, they kind of ended it, or they did that fourth when there's a fifth movie. But fourth was also kind of average in my opinion. I kind of liked it. It was fun, but yeah. Fifth was ambitious, and I did like the scope of it, and it was a pretty fun story. But I still think I guess the first two are my favorite, to be honest. Fifth one could go there too. Um, but nothing amazing. Besides the fifth one, I thought the special effects were also a little poor. First one was alright. Fifth one was alright. The rest were kind of whatever. um, but yeah, no, I think it might be a weaker entry than last movie. Maybe it's better than Viral though, to be honest. Um, but no, it's alright. I'll continue to watch the VHS series. Like I think the new one's already been announced or whatever, so I'll check that out. But solid. I give this like a 6 out of 10. It's still a good time overall. And then I like found footage. I like anthology movies, and VHS is kind of the leading series for that. So not my favorite entry, but it definitely wasn't a bad time. I still enjoyed myself regardless. Yeah, no, post edit here. First post edit. There's the other two movies I still agree with. This one I lower to a 5 out of 10. I've been disliking it the more I let it simmer in my mind. I think it's definitely the worst VHS movie. At least every other one had like one really like solid film. Or this one, the more I think about it, the less I like it. There's just not really anything good about this. So like 5 out of 10 just because it's not a bad movie. It's just boring and average and definitely a step down from the normal stuff. Hopefully the next movie will be better in the VHS series. Hello guys and welcome to movie 4 of this movie batch. Last time we veered off the Shutter Essentials with the documentary, the new VHS, which was fun, but I kind of want to dive back into this because Scarecrow was pretty good. I think the best of the three we watched, so hopefully they'll be of similar quality. I'm gonna skip over Perfect Blue just because I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. Absolutely love the film, and go to Tenebrae by Dario Argento, which just by that it looks like it is another Giglio. I don't know how to say it. Maybe. I assume it is. Yeah, I mean we've watched one Giglio movie before. The Strange Vice of Miss Ward, which was pretty fun. Um, we'll see how this goes. I know Dario Argento is a very prolific director. I've seen Suspiria, though I was a kid, so I barely remember it. Funnily enough, I remember the remake more, which I did like, but I know it's completely different. But I'm pretty sure I watched the remake like a couple years after I watched the original, so I must have been like super young. But no, I mean, if they're highlighting this film, then I assume it's one of his better films. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. It's, I guess, technically my third Italian horror movie with Suspiria, which is a half-half. I definitely want to rewatch that. And Strange Vice of Miss Ward. See what the reviews say? Ed the Head. Deep Red will always be his best work for me, but this is really entertaining with some great kills and a killer soundtrack. But Odd calls it a gritty Dod's bottom. Dude, I love reading reviews, man. We don't want to like spoil ourselves though. Sorry guys, I'm gonna be the odd one out here and confess I don't see what all the hype is about. The best part for me was the retro music. I give it a 2.5. Okay, pretend virus. Nope. Dope or nope? It's a nope from dope or nope? Maybe I shouldn't watch this. No, I'm joking. So yeah, I'll check it out, see if it is good, and BRB. Yeah, that was awesome. Honestly, I really love that movie. So it was a mystery slasher, or I'm not Gilio Dalio, whatever. Um, and I thought it did a great job. I'm not saying I'm like the smartest person ever, but at least normally for mystery slashers, which now that I think about it, don't really get made that much anymore. It's either like now supernatural slashers or just like slashers without a mystery element, and the killer's just some guy. I feel like that's like the new meta. But for this, I usually do feel like I have a good grasp on who the killer is, but this one I was pretty stumped throughout the thing, and like when they even do like a little reveal, but then they offset you with like some other events, then you kind of like think past it almost, and when you realize what happened, you're like, oh fuck. But no, I really enjoyed it. It was tense throughout. The music was awesome. Um, the directing style looked very unique and distinctive and fun. The acting was good. Again, common thing. I wish I did see it in its original language, but I guess Shutter doesn't have the rights to it. But I just wish there was an option. But no, the dub in general is pretty good. I guess that's like a. I wonder if that's a common thing. Probably not, but like the two Italian movies had pretty good dubs, so and the kills were pretty visceral, like a majority of them, especially like the first kill, really like, but a lot of them were good. Yeah, I just really had a great time watching this. Um, and it makes me interested in his other movies. I know this is supposed to be one of his better ones, but just wondering if like I would love to see movies of similar quality from him because it's definitely a fun time and see how they differ. Obviously this was very different than the Strange Vice of Miss Ward, but they did use the killer as sort of a proxy thing, both in this and like someone used the killer as a proxy to do other stuff. Is a similar theme in this one to Miss Ward, though used in a very different way. Um, this one's more effective, even though Miss Ward's ending was like super memey and fun because of like the twist after twist. Um, But no, I really love this movie. I really love this movie, man. I'm thinking like an 8, 8.5, and it's definitely rewatchable for sure. Definitely put that on the rewatch list later after I check out some of his other movies. But yeah, great time. Great movie. Would definitely recommend. Hey, we're on movie 5. We're kind of uh getting away from the Essentials collection, even though it hasn't steered us wrong yet. We're going Asian, you know. Asian horror is one of my favorite. I know it's like a big ass region, but mainly like Japanese and Indonesian and Thai have been like really on my list for horror. Korean, South Korean, I should say, is also up there. I know people have been saying like they're basically taking over the horror genre from how Japan's often cited as like one of the best eras for Japanese horror, and in my opinion, horror in general is like the 2000s in Japan. And some people, I've heard it like multiple times, people say that South Korea's kind of taken that that mantle um for like modern times. I personally think like Indonesia's kind of popping off, even though it's just like one guy. But I don't know. I mean, I like South Korean horror. Tale of Two Sisters is always a classic for me. The Wailing is probably my favorite modern-ish horror movie, though that's what 2016. Just a lot of like the recent Korean horror movies I wasn't too impressed with. Like The Closet was bad, Mimic was bad. There's like an Exorcist movie that was bad. Like all the maybe I'm just unlucky with my picks, but all the like really recent like modern ones I've seen were a little poor. Oh, I also really enjoy the Whispering, is it the Whispering Corridor series? Something like that. That long series with the ghost stories about it's like a high school focused ghost story, and each movie is like it's its own thing. It's not connected, but it's a series because they all focus on basically a ghost story in high school. That's a very good Korean horror series, I think. Um, but yeah, we'll check this out. Zero Point Zero MHZ, a Shudder original, 2019. So I would still put it in modern, and we'll see if it impresses me compared to some of the other ones. What the Asylum found footage South Korean movie is good too. I will admit. I don't think I've seen anything like amazing, like some of the all time classics from the 2000 eras of J horror. Besides The Wailing, I do think The Wailing is like awesome for like modern-ish though. Again, I don't know if you count that as modern. I feel like 2020 or 2019 and onward is now modern as we pass the years. But anyways, I'm kind of stalling. Let's see if this is good. See you in a bit. Okay, so it was a pretty good movie. A little bit of a mixed bag in my opinion, but comparing it to the other modern Korean movies I mentioned earlier, it's definitely better. The good, I really like the acting. I think the acting was probably the strongest part of the movie, and I like the how the characters were written in general, besides the character that kind of turned into the Joker. Um, thought that was a pretty good aspect. I also feel like it feels a little almost like a K drama, like more in this style of Korean television series. Um, which I kind of like, a little melodramatic. The ending felt really K drama y until they hit you with the insidious twist. But um, yeah, there's definitely some good to like out of it. There's like I think two or three jump scares that definitely got me. There's some comedic bits that are pretty good. The negative, the CG is like horrendously bad. Strangely, you think with these good aspects have a they do good CG, but it's pretty bad. Technically, there's some kind of weird stuff too. Like they did a slow mo shot, but like the bad version of slow mo, where it also looks like it's just low frames. Some of the story elements, while entertaining, were a little annoying. But no, it's a good. I think that's a good movie. I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. Not amazing or anything, but it was definitely a fun experience. Like I said, got some laughs, got a little spooks. I do love me some Asian hair ghosts. I'm a big fan of Ju-on, or maybe you don't know that, but yeah, I love Ju-on, the series. It's basically like my nostalgia series, like your Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. Ju-on kind of fits the role for me in that aspect, so um, did like the hair dose, even though it did look terrible. But yeah, decent movie. It was a fun watch, I guess. Yeah, I know. I've also went down on this movie. It's like a 5 out of 10 at most. The CG is just horrible. I think I was just being too generous. Also, I said the ending was Insidious. I know it's literally just a play-by-play of the Insidious movie, which is really lame. It borrows a lot. It's just not original. It's not good. Acting's still sort of a saving grace in my opinion, but other than that, it's just an average movie. Giving it a 6 out of 10 kind of made it seem like I was recommending it. I wouldn't recommend it. It's not good. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to movie 6. As you can see, we are doing the spook warfare. If this poster looks familiar, we actually did 100 Monsters, which is a part of a trilogy, the first part of the trilogy by Yoshiyuki Kurata. This is the second one. You can hear me talk about it in our Shutter 7 week thing, 7 day thing. I'll probably make a new playlist by the time this comes out, movie bunch reviews or something. Just so it's easier to find. But yeah. Um, which has basically in my opinions of the first movie of the trilogy. I thought the yokai costumes were killer, but the story was very meh. So I'm hoping same quality of costumes but better story, and I'm a little hopeful because this description here um sounds pretty interesting. Also, it's good to note that both this and the third movie has 5 stars out of 5, while the first movie had 4 stars. So it seems like it is the worst of the three. So um, feel like it's very hard to be worse than the first one. If the stories are just as boring or even more boring. So yeah, I'm hopefully optimistic, and let's see if this is good. Yeah, that was pretty good. It's exactly what I wanted, a more interesting story with a similar quality to the yokai, and they definitely delivered. Unlike 100 Monsters, which I thought was very formulaic for old Japanese movies, this one had a lot of personality. Instead of monsters just being monsters, they each felt very distinct, not just in looks, but in their personalities, because um, as a plot, um, which was about basically a Babylonian demon comes to Japan. You sort of see a team up between humans and monsters. So obviously, it's a foreign attacker, and it just had like very good vibes. And like the first movie, costumes were pretty good. I think they did reuse it, which made sense because this was made in the same released in the same year as the first movie. So we'll probably see reuse of some costumes. There were different ones though too. But yeah, this was a really fun watch. I'd probably give it like a 6.5 to 7. But yeah, hopefully the last one's like on a similar level or better. Then I'd be pretty happy with the trilogy. Just having like the first one being kind of bad. Okay, going to movie 7, hopefully. Hopefully it's 7. I might be wrong. We're checking out Terrified, by an Argentinian director. You're like, Aiden, why am I choosing this one? I don't know. I went to a Reddit thread that was like your top 3 movies on Shudder, and this name came up a lot. So I'm like, sounds good enough to me. So no idea. The poster looks kind of trash compared to like, it's probably the worst looking poster we've seen on the movie bunch in my opinion. Though yeah, I think so. But never judge a book by its cover, right? So I'll see you in a bit. Holy shit, dude. What else can I say? That movie was actually spooky. I feel like that's the spookiest movie I've seen in a while. Like extremely effective jump scares. Like I swear there's like 3 jump scares that actually made my heart stop, dude. Um, I love the sound design, the very overpowering music. The acting was great. The story was greatish. I mean, there's some weird paranormal science stuff, and not all my questions were answered, but just the experience of watching it was really fun. Shudder. This isn't a critique on the movie. This is a critique on Shudder, or maybe the movie in proxy if these were the official subtitles. But I mean, I don't know. Argentinian or Spanish or whatever it's in. Um, but don't use yellow subtitles, please. Just use white. Yellow. I see some subbers use yellow. It's just never as good as white. Especially in the early on in the movie when it felt like it blended in the background a lot. Obviously, the overall color of the movie got darker as it went on, so it wasn't as bad. But yeah, white stays seen as color for subtitles in my opinion. You know, I'm just a guy, but I've seen a lot of subtitles stuff. But anyways, this movie is awesome. It's actually like pretty scary, and I had a great time. I give it like an 8 out of 10. It's definitely something I would watch again. Yeah, absolutely love this. Would recommend if you want to get spooked. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to our 8th movie of this 10 movie bunch review. I've decided it's 10 now since we're this far anyway. And that's right, we're checking out Fulci. Um, as I said before, don't know much about, haven't experienced much of Italian horror, so no, I have not seen a Fulci movie, even though I do know he's prolific like Dario. So we're checking out City of the Living Dead. I looked up what people suggest. A lot of people suggest The Beyond, but the thing is, it's part of a trilogy, and now apparently the trilogy doesn't actually have anything to do with each other. But I have this thing: if I'm watching a series, I just need to start from the beginning. So we'll check out the first City of the Living Dead, see how it goes. So I'm pretty excited. The Italian movies have all been good so far on Shudder. Actually, I guess just in general, since I have such a small sample size. But yeah, let's see what this is. It is about zombies, I think, which I haven't seen a zombie movie in a while since it's not really my thing, but again, we'll try it out. Let's see. See you in a bit. My mic was muted. Whoops. Good movie. This isn't the movie's fault. This is my fault though. I was kind of drifting to sleep. I guess I was just more tired than I thought. And when you like lie down and turn off the lights to watch a movie, I was kind of falling asleep. So I missed like some of it. So I definitely need to rewatch it. But the door effects, you know, they call Fulci the grandfather of Gore or something. Like there are some pretty crazy scenes. The scene in the car with the couple where she was just throwing up her insides was awesome. The drill scene was awesome. It was an enjoyable movie. I'm not gonna give it a rating just because like I missed like the last part of it, so I don't actually know how it ended. I assume they closed the gates of hell, but yeah, I would recommend it. I'll definitely rewatch it like later one day. But yeah, anyways, inconclusive rating, smiley face. Yeah, let's make that a conclusive rating actually. It's definitely an 8 out of 10. I actually really enjoyed the movie. It lived up to the holy trinity of Italian horror directors, and I'm definitely excited to see more of his works. The again, obviously the main draw to it is the special effects, but overall, I think I just enjoyed the movie. It's pretty great. Sad I slept through it a bit, but it was fun revisiting some of the scenes I remembered anyways. So definitely a good movie. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on to movie 9. By the way, I mean you've probably just seen it because it's in the post edit, but yes, I did. I did rewatch The City of the Dead, and it was pretty excellent. So I'm actually at Living Dead, City of the Living Dead. My bad. So I thought, why don't we include the holy trinity of Italian horror since we did one Dario movie, one Fulci movie, and we'll do a Bava movie. They don't have as much Bava movies as unless this is his whole catalog, but I don't think it is on Shudder compared to the other two. But I've seen Black Sabbath for sure, just as I was watching the Shudder TV show 101 like, Scariest Horror Moments. So I did recognize the because they showed a specific scene from that. So I did see that. So even though it's good, I'll probably not do that one tonight. looking through a Reddit thread, I feel like when people are talking about their favorite movie, I've seen all of these on the list besides Shock. So I'll ignore Shock and I'll do Bay of Blood because I've seen Bay of Blood and Black Sunday the most. So we'll just try this out. Let me just get that summary. Cool. Weird picture. Oh, I'm lagging. Help. Help me. There we go. 1971. Which? Sorry, train. Perfect timing. Perfect. Yeah. Always comes when you're just starting to talk. When a rich countess dies, strange murders befall people trying to claim her property in the Mario Bava's gruesome Giglio, which many credit with giving birth to the slasher genre. Combining his famously rich cinematography style with incredibly bizarre murders, Bava's film became a favorite of directors like Joe Dante and horror historian Stephen Thrower. It has also found many detractors, including horror icon Christopher Lee, who found the extreme violence revolting. Okay, Christopher Lee did not like the movie, eh? Controversial, disturbing, and incredibly influential, A Bay of Blood is a total must-see. Okay, if if you say so. We'll see. It'll be interesting to pit this against Tenebrae, which I thought was an excellent movie. So see how this goes. See you in a bit. Okay, so it's actually like count this as the post edit thing because it's actually been a couple of days since I watched the movie. I don't know why, it just kind of slipped my mind and then I stalled. It's a good movie though. I enjoyed it. It was a different feeling than the two other Giglio, I'll never say the word right, movies we've watched before. Um, Instead of it being like a mystery, like intrigue, who's the culprit, you kind of know like who's the culprits like pretty easily, but it's more like just this web of multiple plots and going on, and they're like slowly unraveling instead of like discovering the culprit, which is an interesting way to do it. Some fun kills. I think in general I prefer Tenebrae though over this. I just like the mystery aspect a little better. But you know, chaotic fun is something I'd describe this movie as, with a pretty fun ending too. Um, yeah, I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. It's good. Though out of the three, out of the we watched three movies from three Italian horror legends, I think this is probably my least favorite, even though it's still great. So yeah, good movie though. Post edit, I guess. I still think I'd give it a 7 out of 10, but I didn't really give credit to the kills, which were super fun and interesting. And I did read up on it a bit, how influential this movie was. So a lot, give it credit where credit's due. I just think in my personal taste, it's still a 7 out of 10, which is a great rating, but still prefer the other two Italian horror movies we watched. Okay, for I said we're gonna do 10 movies for this, but we're changing it to 11. My plans have changed just because I went on Shudder to see what tonight's movie's gonna be, and then I see Satan Slaves 2. I didn't even know this was in the making. Not Italian. We watch so much Italian stuff here. Indonesian horror movie sensation from that one guy that just directs really good Indonesian movies. Um, yeah, but we're not making a double feature because I need to watch Satan Slaves 1 again. That was like in 2017, I think, or 2018. So it's been a while, and it was really good. So yeah, we'll watch the first one. Not that I'm just getting to the first one. Yeah, there you go. I didn't even know. I mean, I did kind of know. So never mind that this Joko Anwar. There we go. Yeah, when a famous singer dies from a mysterious illness, her family feels her presence linger, and a horrifying saga begins. Rennie and her siblings care for their sick mother in the countryside, but after the matriarch passes away, evil entities terrorize and even possess the family. To protect her little brother, as Rennie traces back the roots of the evil and learns the horrifying truth. A Shudder original. But yeah, I already know this. Well, I thought this movie was very good when I first watched it, so we'll see how it holds up in the second viewing. But yeah, see ya soon. Yeah, it's a pretty good movie. Like I remember. I feel like it's pretty comparable to like Insidious 1, The Conjuring 1, where where it has like a decent story and generally well made, while having like, some pretty good spooks, like the modern spooks, little more weighted on jump scares with some good atmospheric horror. The story was decent for sure. And I can see how there is a second movie. I didn't really think about a second movie when I first watched it, but it leaves it kind of open, I guess. Um, but yeah, I mean, in general, I just like the Indonesian folk tales stuff. It's fun seeing pochons as zombies, basically the zombie substitute. Especially after playing all those Indonesian horror games we have on the channel. Um, it's nice to see. I'd probably give it a 7. I'm a little worried about the sequel just because there's usually a pretty noticeable drop in quality in my opinion. I think Insidious 2 was actually like not that bad, but it was definitely like the last good Insidious movie in my opinion. And The Conjuring 2 was worse than Insidious 2, but it was still decent. So I'm hoping it's between those and not like I can't actually think of an example, but yeah. Hopefully it's it. Yeah, good as I remember. Good movie. Right, as stated before, final movie, Satan Slaves 2, first movie is definitely solid. I feel like this director has constantly delivered pretty great experiences. Like all 7 out of 10s in my opinion. This Satan Slaves, Impedador, Queen of Black Magic. Um, they've all been pretty good. Now, obviously, a little wary because it is a sequel, and sequels are if you had to take a percentage, I'd usually say like 70-30. Like 70% sequels are a step down from the first. But we'll see. But yeah, I'll let you know. So yeah, that was actually better than I was expecting. I mean, it's not because I wasn't doubting our good friend Joko Anwar. Okay, I was combining the two his two names. Um but it's the sequel skepticism. But honestly, I really enjoyed what I saw. Again, scare level high, style level high. It's obviously continued on from the last story, but I think it added the new background info and plot points pretty like seamlessly. Like it didn't feel really forced until like maybe the end. The scares were pretty good too. Of course, he is very good at scares. The only problem for some of those scares were, well, just for two, they were like almost exactly shot for shot from the first movie, and I just know that because I watched it last night, so it's very familiar to me. But for a sequel, this is like I feel like just giving this like a 7 equal to the first one, even though there are a few flaws and some similar tropes to the first one. Still felt pretty fresh. Some of the kills were nice. I really liked how the hot girl died, even though I was like, no, don't kill her, dude. But yeah, no, I was thoroughly impressed. Good way to end off this movie bunch review. Okay, this is me making, the wrap up for this movie bunch review. I think in general it was a pretty successful experience. There's a couple of rotten eggs, but had a great time. I think one of the things I really do enjoy about doing these is experiencing new, experiencing Italian films because it really was just off my radar for the horror scene. But I mean, I knew there were some good ones. I just never got to it, and this kind of incentivized me. What is some of the top movies that out of all of these and you're like, oh, maybe I should watch some of these? Which ones would I definitely recommend? I think maybe best movie overall in this bunch review, probably Tenebrae. I really enjoyed it. Still think that it's an awesome mystery with fun surprises that, you know, kept you on your toes with some really good kills. It's definitely my favorite Giglio at this point. Though as another honorable mention, I think Terrified, the Argentinian film, is also definitely worth your time. I think in terms of scare factor, which, you know, when you're looking at a horror movie, I know that's important for a lot of people, myself included. I think it's definitely the scariest movie out of the bunch. So I don't think you'd be disappointed with that. But without further ado, thank you for checking out this movie bunch review. Again, if you've seen any of these, let me know what your opinions are. Do our opinions match, or do you want me to elaborate on any of the movies? Since, you know, I kind of keep it short and sweet. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Another one will come eventually. It's a little slower now since I'm not binging horror movies. But I already started. I already started on the next one. I mean, it just comes naturally when you're, at least when I'm watching movies at home. It kind of just works out that way. So yeah, if you enjoyed, don't forget to sub. I appreciate it a lot. You know, quest to 300 subs is going fine. And yeah, hopefully I see you around the channel some more. Lots of horror stuff on the channel, some weeb shit if that's what you're into. Hopefully you can find something. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully I see you then. Peace.